question. What's the legal fees for? What are the lawsuits? Where are they coming from? Or what's caused the lawsuits? Is it all pertaining to this trash service?
Another one of them.
Rita, could you address that?
There's, I think there's one entry on there for the trash for revisions to the RFP, like an hour. A lot of it is responding to the public access counselor complaints, and reviewing the records to try to respond, like our minutes and all that stuff, and talking with the clerk, trying to formulate a
What
response.
stirred all this up initially? Was it the trash thing?
It doesn't, I mean, not really, there's questions about all different manner of things pertaining to the meetings and minute agendas and things like that. There are questions to the public access counselor who deals with open door compliance and public access to public record compliance.
Well, I guess we didn't have these issues until this came up over the trash service. I guess what I see this as is like Obamacare. You guys are going to ram it down our throat, whether the majority of the people in town want it or not, John and Tom.
Thank you. Second board.
My question is, how many people out of town have city water?
Yeah, I don't know the number, Jim.
But there's several, right?
Yeah.
Are they gonna have to pay this trash service?
Yep.
Then why should I? If they're exempt, I should be.
You're in town. Sir,
Makes a lot of sense, don't
I don't have.
it? Makes a lot of sense.
The way it's wrote up in that letter, it was a city limits only. Regardless of our water customers, it was city limits only is how it was wrote up.
Gibby, as board president, are you going to sign this issue if these two vote for it?
No,
Yes,
I've already, huh?
That's the law.
He has to sign it?
Yes. Even if it goes against it. It's majority of the people.
Is that right? Well, it seems a shame that two people can ram stuff down a whole town's throat that don't want it.
It's a shame, sir, in my opinion.
I think you guys should have dealt with the issue, the people you're trying to clean up.
How
not
we're gonna
people
solve
that's innocent like us.
Henry, if you, I'm not gonna rehash this, but if you tell me what's your plan for fixing the recycling issue over here?
I didn't bring the recycling in here. I didn't want
But
to start
a
with it.
number of the town people wanted it and still do. What's your plan for fixing it?
Take it
Will
out.
it solve everything? No. Will it solve the recycling? Yes. Will it solve the fact that we've got six garbage collectors right now in this town? Yes, it'll solve that. Will it solve all of the people that don't fix up their places? No, it won't. If it solves part of it, we've still made major problems. And you've said 14 times that the majority of this town doesn't want it. That's not the feedback I'm getting, sir.
Is
You
that
want the
right?
petitions? I'll give you the petitions,
No, sir, I don't.
so you don't care one way or the other.
I feel this is the right
If I
thing
may,
to do.
Ginger Porter for the record. If I had all the time on my hands, I could go around with petitions and get plenty of signatures for people who are for the recycling and trash collection. However, I have a job and I do not have all the time during the day to go and do that. So your petitions that are for people against it, which I did see in our duplicate signatures on there, is not, that does not really give a good picture of what the people in the town want.
I didn't do that
It's only,
petition.
and, if I may, as you are going door to door, you are explaining your view on it and giving them your ideas. And if I did the same thing, I could be very persuasive and get more people to sign for it.
I don't
So,
persuade
your
people one way or
petitions,
the other.
your petitions, I do not believe that is true. Your petitions
I
are
just tell them to
not,
read John's newspaper, see what they want.
your petitions are not representative of the people in town. Not of all of them. You're getting the ones that you're going door to door to, getting at home.
One out
or
of
at
10
home.
that's against it.
Are
says
you a
that the majority.
resident of Odon?
No, she's not.
Then really, do you have a dog in this fight? If you don't live here?
Sir, every Wednesday,
She wants recycling in the Odon.
you don't understand. You don't understand at all.
I'll tell you what will solve this whole problem. Are the next elections.
Hey, you're right, and I won't be there, Smokey,
Yeah.
and you elect Ben Conner, that'd be great.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. No.
Be a super
I'm not
idea.
saying that. But that will solve the problem. It'll take 2 or 3 years, but the problem will be solved.
You better believe it,
That's right.
because John and I won't be there, but right now, we're gonna do what we think's right.
All right, Frank?
I just wanted to point out that you know you may be bouncing on one aspect of the problem with this town. One aspect, okay? The broken window syndrome, and look it up. There's sociological studies about it. Sidewalks, you don't have a walk to walk on in this town.
That's
You
correct.
got dirt paths, okay? Or if you walk down one of them at night, you're gonna find your nose in the sidewalk because you're gonna trip. Those are broken window syndromes, okay? The trash you're talking about, setting out there 5 days a week, the sidewalks, the streets not in repair, those are all broken window syndromes, okay? Those are the things that impact people don't want to come to a place because they see those things. It's blight, okay? So yeah, you're bouncing on one part of it, but you need to take all of those.
Totally
into
agree.
account.
Totally agree
Pardon
with
me,
you,
there's
Frank.
also the pickup trucks loaded to the hilt with bags and bags and bags of trash that sit there for months and months at a time. And the trash bags, 10 or 12 and 15 sitting in someone's yard for,
Which are
Months
also
and months
attracting
and
more of
months.
those possums and raccoons and
And,
unwanted
that's-
cats.
it
It's
would
all-
be nice if we had a solution.
It's all broken window syndrome. And if you
Yep,
read about it,
yes.
it goes into great detail about all the things that impact those issues, okay? Again, I say you're hitting one aspect of it.
And
You need to look at a big plan.
we totally agree, and we've sat and discussed that. The first one that we tackled was this one. We could have easily backed down the first time when we started taking all the heat.
Well, when John talked about the sidewalks, I thought that there would be some effort on that.
Look at our budget, Frank. Look at our budget. You know,
The
we wish
budget
we
there,
could.
Todd's exactly right. And, you know, my thought on this is to charge a bit more for trash service.
I know.
So maybe if we could build up a fund, we could build some sidewalks in this town.
I don't
$2,000 or
know.
$3,000 per year, sooner or later, we'd have it so a lady could push her baby buggy to the park, for God's sakes.
I don't know,
It's not
I don't know
safe.
how the money's earmarked, but we built a main street and land a 747 on. Why couldn't we put sidewalks in?
I'll tell you how we did that. And here's an example of the stuff, just so that everyone tries to understand. Okay? What they did here was very smart. The previous boards, John was part of it, previous boards, tried to get funding. There was no funding for streets and sidewalks. None. No grants. But there was for sewers. Okay? So what they did, hey, our sewer in Main Street runs under streets and sidewalks. So we're gonna get those repaired, which we did, but they gotta fix the streets and sidewalks, put them back right. That's how we got that done. Now, what was wrong with that? Someone in their infinite wisdom, many years ago, said that Odon's easement is 15 feet wide. Never thinking that someone might widen the street something, that easement was from the center of the street. Might widen the street someday. Okay? So we then had to get purchased a little plot of land because we couldn't put it on the sidewalk with the lights out. Took us 2 years to get the trash done. We're sitting here looking and saying, okay, if we can get this reasonable enough, we can build up a fund. You know, instead of charging $13.78 for trash, which the majority of people in town are more than that, tack $15 instead, I'm just using that as a number. Eventually, you'll build it up to where you can do something different. You know, I'm gonna get on my soapbox here a second. One of the things I looked into is Odon Cable Company. The ridiculous cable we have is terrible. Everything is scrambled, not up there in that satellite, if we had our own satellite. Something I turned around and looked into was Odon Gas Company. Now, where is the largest natural gas deposit in the United States? Right here in Odon, Indiana. Went to Coates' senior staffer and said, what if we could get a grant to have, I said, you want a town to grow? You want costs down? You drop that fuel cost through the floor. And you're gonna have more business than you know what to do with. You're gonna have more people that wanna come to town if you know what to do with it. The fight that we've had trying to get this trash through, we haven't had time for beans. Except turn around, answer, request. Some people goes around and gets this or get that. You don't have time to do anything. Am I going to run again, Mr. Cornelius? No. The answer is no. I'll say that now. But while I'm here, I'm going to do everything I think is right, regardless of who I tick off. It's a matter of saying, you got I-69 out there. Is this town going to migrate west? Well, what if McDonald's came in tomorrow? Right now, we couldn't provide water pressure to the guy to hook up a restaurant. We couldn't do it. But we want to spend money for this and spend money for that. Be the nice guy? Love to be, but you can't. You can't sit there and do all these things and even trying to make it look like a good town hall with wonderful seats for people. You can't do that. You know, yes, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. You know, Daddy always taught me stand against the world if you think you're right.